For me in 2024, the most improved brand is this brand that I'm using today. It's a brand that I've got in my current bag, if you was talking about what's in the bag, but they've produced another fantastic club that you maybe wouldn't expect. Creating shots just like that. A tough par 4 here, very easy to get that ball going exactly where I want. If I'm not confident with my driver, then this is a club that you should be looking at. We are talking Cobra, and we are talking about the Cobra Dark Speed LS Fairway Woods. So Fairway Woods, a massive improvement from Cobra this year, just like the driver. The driver which is in my bag is the Cobra Dark Speed LS, and for me that is the best driver I've tested so far. For me, for numbers on performance wise, for looks as well, and for the consistency that I wanted to get. But now we have the Fairway Woods, and you can see by the Fairway Woods a nice small head. We can see the carbon on the top. Again, not the longest heel to toe, so a nice compact version here in the LS. Is that for everybody? That's what we're going to discuss today in this video, but a fantastic looking club, and it has been performing exceptionally well for me. It's all down to performance, but let's hit a few more shots with this club. Let's talk a little bit about the tech, who it might be for, and what the other rangers might do for you. Now behind the golf ball, obviously exactly what we would expect with the LS, just like the driver. Obviously the Fairway was the same, a smaller head, more compact. So again, who's it for? If you are a little bit more wayward, if you like mid-handicap Dave, I'm not saying that my strike pattern is much better, but you might want something a little bit bigger. And this is where obviously it's looking down behind the golf ball for you, which is going to give you confidence. For me, obviously, you want a 3-wood that's going to be maybe a little bit of a fairway finder. It's going to be something that you can go to if you're not comfortable with your driver at the moment, just like somebody like Dave. And obviously there you want obviously to think about what you want. If we go a little bit bigger, we know we've got that more forgiveness because we know we can spread the weight a little bit more, so your off-centered hits are going to be better. For me, obviously this is the LS version, just like the driver that I've got, but I'm nice and confident that I can get a consistent ball flight just like that. Stay pretty straight, hasn't faded back, nicely worked through those trees. It's like I played here 2 more times this week. So obviously there, that's exactly what you'd expect from that. A little bit of a toe strike, so it'll be interesting to see if it lost a lot of distance. But let's hit another one now. So that one just faded towards those trees, has gone through the gap, but can I now play a higher shot? Obviously, it's setup changes I've got to change. It's nothing with the club, but can I get one launching higher? Let's say I was downwind and I want to hit one nice and high. Let's see if I can do that. Again, a little bit left, but again, 3 times the height there. So yes, I have been able to get that height there. But one thing for me with this club is that it's currently set at 14.5 degrees. So for me, that's right in the middle range. It's not a strong 3-wood. It's not obviously a weak 3-wood. It's right in the middle. But I've still felt like it comes off that hot, it can go quite a long way, which is never a bad thing. If I was saying to you, I'm going to get you a 3-wood that goes a really long way, but it'd be very hard to use this into the greens. Even there, I tried to launch it a little bit higher. Would that stay on a green? Maybe, potentially not. So that's what you've got to think about. For me, I would probably go up to the highest loft on here, which is 16 degrees, so very much close to a 4-wood. So when you're fitting this top end of your golf bag, make sure that it ticks a few more boxes than just being, okay, I've got a 3-wood, it goes a long way. But yeah, that's great off a tee if you use it maybe a couple of times around, but if you can't get it close to a green or get it to stay on a green or land short of a green and stay on, then it's not going to be the most beneficial. If you're only using it off the tee a couple of times because you're happy with your driver, then make sure it's set up for you to obviously help you lower your scores, hit better shots, and get that handicap down. This part of your bag is very important. I'm absolutely loving this 3-wood. I think it's fantastic. I would probably change that to 16 degrees. I'm very much looking forward to testing out the 5-wood. I don't know if there's a 7-wood available in this. I will have a look on the website and put that on screen now, because again, I think it's a fantastic club. Suits my eye behind the golf ball, a nice smaller profile, certainly makes me think about it a little bit more, makes me focus on making sure that I'm going to swing within myself to get a good contact. Because after all, if we get a bigger head, sometimes people go, well, I've got all the forgiveness, so I can hit it as hard as I can, and it can still go anywhere. Even if we've got forgiveness, if we're not returning the club face to the ball as we want, then that golf ball is going to go off in all sorts of directions. But Let's test it for numbers now on the next hole, which is a tough hole with water. So guys, another tough driving hole here, but this is where obviously we want to see how far this will go. The water on the left is at 275 yards, so hopefully this shouldn't go as far. Again, that's what I'd be expecting a driver to go, but this is where you want confidence that you can just come over this shot, commit to it, play your normal ball flight, and get that down there. So let's see. And that struck out of the middle, so I couldn't hit that any better, so it'll be interesting to see where that is in relation to the water. I am on the golf cart and it will tell us how far it is from these tees, so let's hit another one now. Again, can I get consistency? Again, feels fantastic. Doesn't feel like I'm trying to get this in the air. And there's a bad one. That's turned over a little bit up the left-hand side, so be interesting to see where that one's finished. That might have snuck into the water a little bit lower. Right, third and final one. Let's give this everything. Again there, higher launch, better strikes. It'll be very interesting to get up there and see where those three have gone. Obviously, one up the left half, one up the right half, and then the second ball could be flirting with the water. But guys, that's what we want to see from a fairway wood. Can I get on here and trust it? I've hit 2 good shots. Yes, we're all going to hit a bad shot from time to time, but if that's still in play, that's good. Obviously, a smaller head here. Is that for you? That's what you got to think when you talk about fairway woods. This is a fantastic fairway wood. I really enjoy the drivers, but for me, it's the biggest improvement from all brands. Again, from the Aerojet into the Dark Speed, I think that's the biggest jump we've seen. I haven't seen as much of a jump from the other big brands, your TaylorMade, from your Callaway. I do think they were very good drivers before, and they've made some slight improvements. They have improved, but maybe not as big a jump as Cobra. Certainly want to check out because, again, affordability wise, normally working out at a better price point or a lower price point depending on your budget. So guys, up here on the right hand side of the fairway, we can see we've just clung on there with the third shot. And again, the first shot we hit would have been flirting with the water, so right on the edge there. On the buggy saying it's going around about 280 yards, so maybe it was a little bit further back than what we thought. And unfortunately, the second ball, I have looked up in there, but it looks like it has been one that has got away. One gone. But guys, obviously there for me it shows that sometimes they can go a little bit too far, so obviously that setting for me maybe not so great because that's going probably as far as my driver. So if I'm not confident, yes, that's all right, but for me what I'm trying to use it for will be landing into a green, maybe on a par 5 or on a par 5, just trying to get in position, or even on some of the shorter par 4s potentially. So it's thinking about what kind of club works for you and how does it help you on multiple shots, multiple holes. It's not just for 2 tee shots on your golf course. It's maybe not going to be worth the investment at £300+ just for 2 tee shots. So think about that, guys. But a fantastic club again from Cobra. Like I say, massive strides this year. I've used the irons in previous years in the Forge Techs, but for me the woods have made massive improvements, and that's something where they did lack a little bit in the last couple of years. So if you're looking for fairway woods and drivers, don't overlook Cobra.